Hi, I'm Sir Dash Masong. Welcome to my college entrance test review, Physics Part 4. Let's start. Physics 31. Momentum and Impulse. A 0.5 kilogram ball moving at 10 meters per second hits a wall and rebounds at 6 meters per second in the opposite direction. If the contact time with the wall is 0.2 seconds, what is the average force exerted by the wall on the ball? A. 10 newtons, B. 20 newtons, C. 40 newtons, or D. 80 newtons. Again, a 0.5 kilogram ball moving at 10 meters per second hits a wall and rebounds at 6 meters per second in the opposite direction. If the contact time with the wall is 0.2 seconds, what is the average force exerted by the wall on the ball? A. 10 newtons, B. 20 newtons, C. 40 newtons, or D. 80 newtons. Try to solve it on your own. You may pause this video. Go! Alright, the correct answer is letter C, 40 newtons. Sir Dash, nalimot ko na yung momentum and impulse. So, i-recall natin isa-isa pati yung step-by-step solution. Number 1, yung momentum muna ay yung product ng object's mass and velocity. Can you recall yung equation? P equals mv. P yung symbol ni momentum, m yung mass, v yung velocity. Dinidescribe nito how hard it is to stop a moving object. Next, impulse. Impulse naman, ito naman yung average force multiplied by the time over which the force acts. In equation, that is J equals F delta T. Yung J, yung symbol ni impulse, F si force, T si time. Meron din tayong tinatawag na impulse momentum theorem. Later, you will see that sa calculation. Sinasabi lang naman ng impulse momentum theorem na yung impulse ay equal sa change in momentum. So sa equation, that's J equals delta P. Or later, sa equation, makikita nyo na yung J na yun is F delta T equals delta P. Okay. Let's now solve. Sir, paano i-solve to? Number 1, importante yung mag-assign ka ng direction. So, choose any direction naman as positive. For example, let the initial direction toward the wall yung positive. Again, yung papunta sa wall yung positive. Then, from the given, binigay yung mass ng ball, binigay yung mga velocity, pati yung time. Okay? So, yung mass, 0.5 kg. Yung time naman is 0.2 second. Now, importante itong velocity. Yung initial velocity, I'll be using the symbol U. Sa ibang book, iba yung symbol na ginagamit. Okay lang yan. VI, V0. So dito, 10 meters per second. And ang velocity ay vector. So kailangan may direction. So plus. Sir, bakit plus? Kasi nga, yung initial velocity ay papunta kay wall. So plus 10 meters per second. Next, yung final velocity, nag-rebound siya in the opposite direction. No? So 6 meters per second yung magnitude, then yung direction niya may negative na. Importante yan kasi pag hindi mo na ilagay yung tamang sign, magkakamali ka na sa computation. Alright, next. Compute the change in momentum. Ito nga yung equal sa impulse. So, tingnan natin yung change in momentum. Again, yung momentum kanina, P equals mv. So, yung change in momentum, P equals m delta v. So, ima-minus lang natin yung velocity, then multiply kay mass. So, ganito yan. P equals m, or delta P equals m times delta V. Yung delta V natin, yung final minus initial velocity. So, yung mass ay 0.5 kg times yung difference ni final and initial velocity. So, negative 6 minus positive 10 or negative 6 minus 10. So, magiging 0.5 times negative 16. Pag sinolve mo yan, 0.5 times negative 16 is negative 8. Then yung unit niya, naka-SI naman to lahat, naka-kilogram, naka-meter per second. So yung SI unit ng change in momentum would be kilogram meter per second. So yung change in momentum mo is negative 8 kilogram meter per second. Next, gamitin natin yung impulse momentum theorem. Sabi doon, yung impulse equals change in momentum. So yung impulse, yung F delta T equals delta P yun. Ang hinahanap kasi dito yung F, yung average force. So, pag na-rearrange ko yung equation, tignan nyo to. Pag dinivide ko both sides by delta T, magiging F equals delta P over delta T. So, yung delta P na-solve natin kanina, yung change in momentum na negative 8. So, divide mo lang yun kay time, which is 0.2 seconds. So, the answer is negative 14 newtons. So, that's negative 8 kilogram meter per second. So, that is equal 2 Newton, kilogram meter per second square. That's it. Now, sir, bakit naging 40 newtons lang yung sagot sa C? Kasi ang tanong dito, ano yung average force exerted by the wall on the ball? So, itong negative na sa solution natin kanina, sinasabi lang nito na yung direction niya is opposite. That's it. See you sa next session. God bless. Pwede mong i-replay ito kung hindi ka pa masyadong clear sa'yo yung momentum and impulse na topic. I really suggest i-replay mo yung solution part. Try to solve it on your own. Kaya mo yan. That's it. See you sa next session. God bless. Physics 32. Power. A crane lifts a 200 kilogram load vertically upward at a constant speed of 2 meters per second. What is the power output of the crane? Use G equals 10 meters per second square. A. 400 watts, B. 1000 watts, C. 2000 watts, or D. 4000 watts. Again, a crane lifts a 200 kilogram load vertically upward at a constant speed of 2 meters per second. What is the power output of the crane? Use G equals 10 meters per second square. A. 400 watts, B. 1000 watts, C. 2000 watts, or D. 4000 watts. Pause this video and try to solve it on your own. Go! Alright, the correct answer is letter D, 4000 watts. Paano nakuha yun? Recall natin, ano nga ba ulit yung power? Yung power ay yung rate at which work is done or energy is transferred, measured to in watts. Again, rate at which work is done or energy is transferred. Yung equation natin, kung naalala nyo, P equals W over T. Tama? Work divided by time. So, ang measure niya o ang unit niya ay watts. Ang 1 watt ay 1 joule per second. Okay, very important to note before we solve. When an object moves at constant speed, kagaya na nasa problem, walang net acceleration. Pag same direction sila ha. Again, when an object moves at constant speed in the same direction, walang net acceleration. Kasi diba, acceleration is change in velocity over time. So kung walang change in velocity, so walang acceleration. Importante yon kasi it means na yung applied force equals its weight. So titignan natin yan. Again, it implies sa problem na to na yung crane must exert an upward force equal dun sa weight ng total load to lift it at a constant speed. Okay? Kasi nga, zero yung acceleration. Let's solve na. Number 1. Recall natin how to compute the weight. Weight is simply the mass times the G. So, F sub G equals mg. Yung mass daw ay 200 kg yung load times yung G na pinapagamit ay 10 meters per second squared. So, that would be 2,000 newtons. Next, recall natin yung formula ng power when force and velocity are in the same direction. I hope na-encounter nito during your high school class. P equals Fv. Sir, saan galing yon? Ginagamit itong formula na to when force and velocity are in the same direction. I will not discuss the derivation, pero sige, para sa mga nako-curious, di ba yung power is work over time? Yung work ay force times displacement. So, Fd over T. Yung D over T ay V. Tama? So, F times V. So, pwede mong i-review na lang yung derivation. So, we will use this formula. Hence, pag plug in natin or substitute, that is 2,000 newtons times yung V na 2 meters per second. So, the answer is 4,000 watts. That's it. See you sa next session. God bless. Physics 33. Torque. Rotational equilibrium. A 2-meter-long uniform seesaw is pivoted at its center. A 40-kilogram child sits on the left end. Where must a 50-kilogram child sit on the right side to balance the seesaw? Assume the seesaw is massless. A. 0.4 meters from the center. B. 0.8 meters from the center. C. 1 meter from the center. Or D. 1.6 meters from the center. Again, a 2-meter-long uniform seesaw is pivoted at its center. A 40-kilogram child sits on the left end. Where must a 50-kilogram child sit on the right side to balance the seesaw? Assume the seesaw is massless. A. 0.4 meters from the center. B. 0.8 meters from the center, C. 1 meter from the center, or D. 1.6 meters from the center? Pause this video and try to solve it on your own. Go! Alright, the correct answer is letter B, 0.8 meters from the center. Paano nakuha yun? Importante recall natin yung mga terms. Ano nga ba ulit yung torque? Marami nahihirapan dito. But actually, torque is simply the rotational equivalent ng force. Equal yun sa product ng force tsaka yung tinatawag nating lever arm. Ano yung lever arm? Ayun yung perpendicular distance from the pivot point. So, in equation, mamaya makikita nyo, that is tau equals F times R, or torque equals force times lever arm. And very important concept before we solve. For an object to be in rotational equilibrium, take note, yung total clockwise torque must equal the total counterclockwise torque. So dito, meron kang left and right side. Yung 40 kg child, nag-create siya ng torque on the left. So sa kabila naman, yung 50 kg child must create an equal torque on the right. Okay, we will now solve. So sa left child, sa left, meron kang mass ng child na 40 kg. Yung distance nga from the pivot, ito yung lever arm na tinatawag, ay 1 meter according to the problem. Next, para maging balance, again, yung clockwise torque must be equal sa counterclockwise torque. So yung formula ng torque, tau equals tau or to equals Fr. Ang F ay yung weight niya, tama? So that is mg. So m times g times r. And then, i-equal mo to sa kabilang side. Since yung g ay makakancel out naman, magiging m1r1 equals m2r2. Again, kanina, that is m1 gr1 equals m2 gr2. So, cancel na yung g, So, from there, madali na lang kasi we can now plug in. Okay, solving for r2, that would be 40 times 1 equals 50 times r2. Solving for it, you will have 40 equals 50 R2. Dividing both sides by 50, R2 would be equal to 0.8 meters. So the correct answer is letter B. Anong sinasabi nito? Ibig sabihin na to, yung 50 kg child, since mas mabigat siya compared sa kabila, they need to sit closer doon sa pivot around 0.8 meters than the 40 kg child na nasa 1 meter to balance it. That's it. See you sa next session. God bless. Physics 34, Coulomb's Law, Electrostatics. Two charges Q1 equals positive 2 microcoulombs and Q2 equals positive 3 microcoulombs are separated by 0.1 meter in air. What is the magnitude of the electrostatic force between them? Use K equals 9 times 10 raised to 9 Newton meter squared per coulomb squared. A. 0.54 newtons. B. 5.4 newtons. C. 54 newtons. Or D. 540 newtons. Again, two charges, Q1 equals positive 2 microcoulombs and Q2 equals positive 3 microcoulombs are separated by 0.1 meter in air. What is the magnitude of the electrostatic force between them? Use K equals 9 times 10 raised to 9 Newton meter squared over Coulomb squared. A. 0.54 newtons. B. 5.4 newtons. C. 54 newtons. Or D. 540 newtons. Try to answer it on your own. You may pause the video for now. Go. Alright. The correct answer is letter B. 5.4 newtons. Bakit? I-recall natin. Yung Coulomb's law, kung naalala nyo yung equation, F equals KQ1 Q2 over R squared, it gives the force between the two charges. No? Ito yung electrostatic force na tinatawag natin. Directly proportional to dun sa may product ng charges kay Q1 times Q2 and inversely proportional naman sa square ng distance sila. Kaya may over R squared. So dito, both charges are positive, so they repel. Pero ang tanong lang naman dito, yung magnitude lang ng electrostatic force. So let's solve. Now, first, very important, i-convert natin yung charge from microcoulomb to coulomb. Ang 1 microcoulomb ay 1 times 10 raised to negative 6 coulomb. Take note of that. So yung 2 microcoulomb would be equal to 2 times 10 raised to negative 6 coulombs. Yung 3 naman, 3 times 10 raised to negative 6 coulombs. So, naka-SI na lahat. So, we can now solve para later makuha natin yung force in newtons. Okay. Coulomb's law. F equals K absolute value Q1 times absolute value Q2 all over R squared kasi magnitude nga. Then we can plug in 9 times 10 raised to 9 tapos 2 times 10 raised to negative 6 times 3 times 10 raised to negative 6 all over 0.1 squared. Sir Dash, paano yan? Sa entrance exam, wala namang mga calculator. No? Don't worry, may technique dito. Okay, look at this one. First, multiply the number. So, 9, 2, and 3. So, numerator muna tayo, ha? So, that is 54. Then, yung exponent, 10 raised to 9, 10 raised to 6, negative 6, 10 raised to negative 6. So, apply the laws of exponent, magiging 10 raised to negative 3. So, that's 9 minus 6 minus 6. So, negative 3 yung sagot. Hence, sa numerator mo, meron kang 54 times 10 raised to negative 3. Pag kinonvert mo in standard notation, that would be 0.054. Take note. Sa denominator naman, yung 0.1 squared is simply 0.01. So, from there, you can now divide. So, the force is 5.4 newtons. So, maraming skills yung na-test dito, kaya possible to lumabas din sa entrance exam, lalo na yung mga challenging na entrance exam. That's it. Pwede mong i-review ulit yung topic na to. See you sa next session. God bless! Physics 35. Snell's Law. Refraction. A ray of light travels from air, N1 equals 1, into glass, N2 equals 1.5. If the angle of incidence is 30 degrees at ang sine 30 ay 0.5, what is the sign of the angle of refraction? A. 0.33, B. 0.45, C. 0.50, or D. 0.75. Again, a ray of light travels from air, N1 equals 1, into glass, N2 equals 1.5. If the angle of incidence is 30 degrees at ang sine 30 ay 0.5, what is the sign of the angle of refraction? A. 0.33, B. 0.45, C. 0.50, or D. 0.75. Pause this video and try to solve it on your own. Go! Sir Dash, walang calculator. Okay lang, kaya mong masolve ito ng walang calculator. You will see later kung paano. Alright, recall yung Snell's Law. You may pause the video for now. Alright, the correct answer is letter A, 0.33. Paano nakuha yun? Okay, number 1, recall natin, ano nga ba yung Snell's Law? Yung Snell's Law, it relates yung angle of incidence and refraction when light passes from one medium to another. So, sa example na to, yung light nag-travel from air into glass. So, yung Snell's Law, in equation, ito siya. N1 sin theta 1 equals N2 sin theta 2. Yung N yung index of refraction. It measures how much light slows down in a material. So, kapag higher yung N, ibig sabihin nun, slower yung light. So, dito, higher yung N ni glass. So, mas mabagal nagka-travel si light doon. Yung theta 1 naman, yung angle of incidence. Yung theta 2, yung angle of refraction. Okay, let's solve. Okay. From the given, binigay naman na yung N1, yung index of refraction ni air, which is 1. Yung N2, binigay na rin 1.5. Tapos yung sin theta 1, which is sin 30, binigay na rin. So, we can now simply plug in. Yan. So, 1 times 0.5 equals 1.5 times sin theta 2. Ang maganda sa tanong, ang question nga lang naman is yung sign of the angle of refraction. Kaya hindi mo na kailangan mag-arc sign. Hindi mo na kailangan ng calculator dito. Hence, solving for it, 0.5 equals 1.5 sin theta 2, dividing both sides by 1.5. We will see that yung sin theta 2, ito yung sign of the angle of refraction, is 0.5 over 1.5 or 1 over 3 or 0.33. Letter A. That's it. Pwede mong i-review ulit yung topic na to. See you sa next session. God bless! Hashtag, sana makatulong. If you want a free digital copy of this reviewer, pinamimigay ko po ng libre. How? Just comment on this YouTube video, free reviewer, and I will send you the link. Ang suggestion ko rin sa inyo, visit yung playlist sa YouTube, sa channel ng Sir Dash Academy. Nandoon yung iba't ibang reviewer per subject. For example, Sir, medyo kailangan ko pa ng help sa physics or sa math or sa verbal ability. Hanapin mo lang yung playlist ng subject na yon, kinompile ko lahat for you. So for more reviewers, please feel free to visit my social media accounts, Dash Academy, available sa YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Ayun. Again, sa YouTube po may playlist doon ng full reviewers, especially malapit na ang mga entrance exams. So hanapin mo lang yon, nandun lahat ng videos. That's it. Hashtag, sana makatulong. See you sa next session. God bless.